There we go. Nice one, guys. Cornell with YouTube Fishing Vids, back out on my local lake, trying to catch these local snakeheads that found their way into this lake a little bit ago. And I'm doing that by throwing a vibrating jig again. And I got the Finch Nasty Thumper on, and inevitably, you know it's gonna catch some beautiful pre-spawn bass. So we're not complaining about that now, are we? So it's a beautiful day. We had some monstrous rains. Look at the belly on that beauty. Gorgeous, right? Monstrous rains. Look at this watercolor. This is ultra rare for my local lake. It does not get stained, especially in this area of the lake. To have this much color is a blessing. And with the water temperatures now, after an 81-degree high temperature yesterday, man, we've got 56-degree water temperature. Go figure. Isn't that great? So we're gonna be tossing way up shallow, no question, considering this watercolor, into some wood up on the shorelines, hopefully trying to get one of those tight to the shore hugging snakeheads and obviously a bass or two. So stay tuned. So the sun is in and out, and I've got a perfect breeze right now, just gently blowing me down the shoreline so I can cover tons of water, which is what I'm going to be doing today, no doubt. And with that said, again, there's the Finch Nasty Thumper vibrating jig. That happens to be the juvenile shad color I'm throwing with the chrome lip, and that's the Lake Fork Magic Shad. I guess it's just a pearl colored trailer on there with 15-pound test fluorocarbon on a high-speed reel. And this happens to be a Zodius rod. I switched up a little bit for my Lew's custom speed stick because I have another vibrating jig in a brighter color on my other rod, because this watercolor is calling for some bright colors, maybe even a dark color. Might even throw a black and blue if these clouds come in like they're supposed to be later on. So let's just chuck and wind and see if we can grab a few more. Yeah, the Maryland stay-at-home order has me fishing for food only. So I got a stringer in the boat. I've got a plethora of options to catch out of here that could come home for the dinner table. But if you all have been watching a lot of my videos lately, you know, if I'm on my local lake, really the only options I've got are to catch these snakeheads and bring them home. And tons of crappie, but those crappie aren't up shallow yet. In the stained water, those suspended crappie are gonna be a real bear to find. Tons of bluegill, all kinds of other kind of panfish are gonna be fishing for, but the snakeheads up shallow with a moving bait will probably be my best bet. And the bycatch of a out of season largemouth bass is bound to happen, and I'm not gonna complain about that one tiny bit. So it's been about 3 years since the Northern Snakehead has been reported in this lake, and there's been lots of them caught. I've caught one myself just last year, and I've actually heard from a subscriber that recently, very recently, someone actually caught one from the shoreline right by the boat ramp. So they must be up shallow and they must be biting if they're already getting reports of them being caught. So I'm anxious to see if that could happen. If I could, like you saw in my last video, hopefully you saw my last video, I pulled in probably over 60 largemouth and smallmouth bass before I got my target species, which was a walleye, and that was one heck of a day maker catching him after all those bass. But that could happen today easily. I can get into some bass, and out of nowhere I can land that Northern Snakehead that I'm after. So that would be a very, very cool day. All right, guys, the bites have been few and far between, but I got myself another one, thank goodness, and it's a nice one, guys. This is my first bass ever on a black and blue vibrating jig on my local lake. Unbelievable. Let's bring him in here like this. He's got some pretty marks on him. Check him out. Beautiful fish. Look at those two little black spots on his lips. Just a beauty, guys. Let's go ahead and put that one back and see if we can find that snakehead we're trying to find. That fish was ultra shallow. That fish was probably in about 3 feet of water. So this crazy, I mean, this is muddy water. This isn't even stained anymore is what we're dealing with here. And again, I've never seen it like this on my local lake. It's insane. But yeah, black and blue vibrating jig did the number. There's always a first, and that was my first ever on that color. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going over a tree, guys, and I got crushed. Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, I think I got a big bass. I swear, for a minute in this dark water, I couldn't quite tell what it was, but it's a beauty. Look at that beautiful bass. He was really aggressive too. That's a nice one. Come here, come here, come here. Nice. Guys, these bass are just awesome today. Good size, not a lot of them. It's been a tough bite, but they're biting. So I'm glad to get these guys. But you know what I'm looking for? Going back. Way, way up shallow for that one. Oh, another one right here. Same spot, 2 casts later, guys. 2 casts later, they were right here. I mean, we're talking up shallow. If you saw how shallow I threw it, right up into some grass. Look at this one, another beauty. Wow, that's like 2 casts later in the same spot. Unbelievable. Come here, come here. Got him. Guys, look at that one. Big old football. Dude, these things are smoking this black and blue. I love it. What a cool thing that is. Look at that beauty. All right, let's get going. That's number 4. I had a feeling the bite would turn on a little later in the afternoon. It's been rough up until about now. And man, there's a few bass to be caught, that's for sure. Let's just hope any other species that want to come home for the dinner plate decide to eat. Remember, when you got really, really stained water or muddy water, and it's this time of year, and it's just before these fish are getting ready to spawn, and the water temp's, like I said, 60, 62 degrees, gotta throw right up on the banks, guys. Throw up right up on top of cover. These fish are gonna be hugging up against something, and you wanna put that bait right in front of their face. Your casts don't have to be very far at all. You could just get right up here on the bank and just pitch right to every little piece of wood and every little rock and edge you can get to, and just hold on, because that fish could be right there on the first turn of the handle. How about a like for reflexes, guys? That was close. All right, so I'm on this strip of shoreline right here where I have definitely seen snakehead before, actually this year. A lot of muck, a lot of mess over here on the shoreline where they like to tuck themselves in and get up real shallow. So if I keep doing what I was doing, catching those bass, and I'm just basically aiming small and missing small, I'm throwing tiny little precise casts right up against the edge of this this mess right here on the shoreline. Hopefully I'll get that snakehead to grab it. But you know what will probably happen? I'll probably end up whacking another bass here in a minute, which would be very cool. But the wind has died, guys. It is absolutely placid, dead calm, but I still have the colored water, so I'm not taking off this vibrating jig because it's working. And by the way, I never mentioned this. The very first snakehead I ever caught in my life, 9-10 years ago, maybe 2010, 2011, was on the Potomac River in an area called the Spoils. A lot of you guys know where that is. And it was on a black and blue chatterbait, a vibrating jig. That's what I caught my first snakehead on. So they eat the heck out of these vibrating jigs, no doubt. And again, I caught a snakehead out of this lake on a vibrating jig. So you throw enough casts and you do the math, percentages will tell you that you're bound to catch one eventually. Oh boy, guys, I got another one. I don't know what it is, but it's way out there. It's a decent fish, whatever it is. It's pulling me around in the boat. Gosh, muddy, shallow, black and blue. I love it. I've only been fishing, guys, for about 4 hours maybe. So I got 5 fish in under 5. So that's about a, oh, it's a nice looking bass, it looks like. Oh, it's a good one, guys. It's the biggest one of the day, I believe. About close to it. Let's see. He's not going anywhere. That's a 5 fish limit right there. A fish I'm not trying to catch, folks. He's about the same as a couple of the other ones. Decent fish. Awesome stuff, right? Oh my gosh, dude, this fish hit the second it hit the water, guys. I mean, the second it hit, feels like a nice fish. This is fish number 6, way out there, guys, up shallow. Let's see what we got here. He is just fighting like crazy. I couldn't believe it. If you guys rewind that and watch this bait hit the water and this fish just basically suck it in. It is another nice bass. Here it comes. Killer. All big, beautiful fish. That's a little smaller than the other one, but I'll take them all day long. Guys, epic day of not bass fishing. Guys, again, I hope you saw every second of that bite. It fell off a limb, it dropped in the water, and bang, that's how shallow these fish are. This is a nice one. This is the biggest fish of the day. Pale as he could be too. Look at how pale this fish is. That's a nice bass. That's number 7, guys. That's number 7. It's a beauty. Let me see if I can get him. And I did, guys. Look at that fish. I'm telling you right now. Oh man, if things were normal and things were real in the world and this was just every bit of just bass fishing, it'd be something special now, wouldn't it? But right now, I'm not fishing for these, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not complaining about a beauty like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Hit a like button for that big old bass. Going back. All right, I've made the executive decision. I'm gonna live and die by this creek. I've got maybe 10, 15 minutes to fish before I really gotta start heading back. Normally I start heading back and I try and fish a few spots over by the boat ramp before I call it, but I guarantee you this is the best spot I could be in right now for the last few casts of the night. So let's see if we can get one sign out fish, and hopefully it'll be that target species snakehead that's now infested my local lake. If it's another bass, that just means it'll be number 8 instead of lucky 7. Let's see what we can do. This is it. This is the spot. This is where I caught my first snakehead ever last year on my birthday. So this is where I'm gonna end it, guys. I'm gonna throw a few more casts and then we're gonna call it because it's getting very late. I'm losing camera light, and I'm gonna probably end up heading home with an empty stringer, but a full heart of joy thanks to some hungry, aggressive spring pre-spawn bass, and I got something to call it right here, guys. Unbelievable. Last bass. I'm not looking at number lucky 7. I'm calling it. I'm closing out, and I catch a fish with some beautiful spots. I'm speechless. What a bite that was, guys, and it's a nice one. Let's bring him on in. Guys, what a way to close it out. I was just signing out, and I end up with that beauty with those beautiful birthmarks on. Isn't that one heck of a day of fishing? And thanks again to these wonderful, aggressive, springtime, muddy water bass that decided to eat my black and blue vibrating jigs. Folks, as always, I appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing. Until we meet again, over and out.